Hey, it's Stephanie, and I just wanted to walk you through these welcome sequence swipe files because I know when you start to look at them and read them, it may be a little bit overwhelming. So I just want to help you to kind of go through each email so you can see the structure, what really needs to be in yours, and we'll help you kind of figure out how you can take these and work in your branding and your messaging and your offers into these emails. So with a welcome sequence, like I said before, this is just basically helping your new subscribers, those who have just signed up for your email list, who maybe don't really know much about you. This is really a way of helping them to get to know you, get to know what you do in your business, how your business can help them. And you also want to share a lot of value because in this very beginning of this relationship, where someone's on your email list, and you're starting to send them things, you're showing up in their inbox, which is, for some of us, it's a really private place. A lot of people don't like email. So if you can make these welcome emails stand out, if you can be a little bit different, and to show them that you're super valuable and someone who offers things in their emails that are going to help them out, you're going to really build that relationship where they're going to start opening your emails all the time. I use these. My open rates are anywhere from 30 to 40%, sometimes more. And a typical average open rate's around 20%. So I'm already doing better than average just by building this foundational relationship with my new subscribers from the beginning. And I do notice that I have certain subscribers that open my emails all the time. People tell me they really enjoy them. I get people who reply back to my emails and answer my questions or laugh along and say, oh, this was a really funny story that I could relate to. So it's just, this is a great way to really connect with your audience. So in your first email, obviously this is going to be where you are going to send them a link to download your free offer or to watch if you did a video or a webinar or anything like that. This is where they're going to get access to that free offer, to whatever it was that you promised them when they signed up for your email list. This is where they're going to get that. So you want to make sure that you personalize this with mentioning their first name. You want to mention what the freebie name so that they understand, okay, this is why I'm getting this email. Make sure you include the link. And then in here, you just kind of want to briefly talk about, the benefit that they're going to get from this free offer. What they're going to overcome, basically what type of transformation they can expect from your free offer. And then just, have an ending to your email. And I like to stick with the same one. Every email that I send out, even if it's for clients or for my subscribers, I always end it with "Talk soon, Stephanie," because I want them to know that they can expect to hear from me again. And with your welcome sequence, I typically send those out every day. So once they sign up every day for 5 days, they're going to hear from me. And this just keeps me top of mind at first. And then after they've gone through this welcome sequence, then I put them on my regular newsletter, which goes out once a week. So I'm not emailing them every day. If that's something you wanted to do, you need to make sure that you let them know up front, hey, I email you every day. Some people don't like that, some people do, but I always, and we'll get to that email later on where you're kind of explaining more about how you, what they can expect from you showing up in their inbox. But this is typically how I do my welcome sequence. So let's see if we can get to the next email. So email number 2, this one is basically sharing a little bit more about why, what their struggles are when it comes to the topic of your freebie. So what made them sign up for this? What problem they were dealing with that they felt like they needed to overcome, and they felt like they could get those answers from your freebie. So it's just kind of a reminder of that so that they understand where they're coming from. And then also just a reminder of what you talks about in your freebie as a way to overcome this struggle. So for this example that I'm showing you, these swipe files, they watched a video training about, and one of the topics that I talked about was mindset. So I have in here some of the ways that they can sell their course with confidence, using some of these techniques and everything. And so also I include another link to the freebie to watch this video. If you had a PDF, you would want to include another link here. And the reason is because sometimes that first email doesn't go through. Sometimes people have all intentions of opening it and clicking over, but they honestly forget. So you want to make sure that in your welcome sequence, you are including links to your freebie, because like you learned in the freebie template there, at the very end of your freebie, of your video, of whatever, you want to have a call to action to make them do something else from that freebie. Whether it's join your Facebook group, to follow you on a social media platform, if it was to maybe buy a low priced offer or to join like a course or something that you have, those call to actions are going to be in that freebie. So you want to make sure that they are opening that and using it, learning from you in the freebie, but then also that they're going to take action from that. So that's why it's so important to make sure you include more links than just in that first email to have them open your freebie. And let's see. So email number 3, this is where I get a little bit more personal so they can get to know me a little bit better and who I am. This is where you want to make sure you include a lot of your personality. Obviously you want to do that in all the emails, but in this one, you don't have to get personal in, where you're uncomfortable with what you're talking about, but just to give them an idea of who you are. Give them some topics, some things that you like that they can also relate to, because the more they can relate to you, then the more connected they'll feel to you and to your business. So in this one, I talk about, kind of way back, I grew up in the 90s. And then, I kind of talk about how I didn't have a care in the world back then, but now I cared very deeply about a few things. And then I, just list out some important things about me. I also make sure in this email that you want to make sure you talk about kind of what you do and the people that you help. So that way your new subscribers will understand if they are someone that fits into that category and that you are someone that can also help them out. So also in this email, this is where I get into information about what they can expect from me, as far as at the bottom here, the last paragraph, it says, expect me to show up every week in your inbox with an email that will inspire you to finally launch that thing that you're so passionate about. So again, I'm telling them how often I'm going to show up and what they can expect from the emails that I send, because that's important. I know a lot of people feel like when they sign up for something free that they're automatically going to be pitched something else, that they're going to be sold to. So I just want people to know that if they can stick around through this welcome sequence, basically, that they're just going to get inspirational tips and advice and things in my emails. So, if that's something that they look for, they can make sure that they keep an eye out for my emails. And then this email continues on, just some more points. And then I do ask them at the very end, I add in a little PS button or a PS section that, I like to get to know everybody that joins my list. So hit reply and tell me a few things about yourself, basically. And then I add in here some other things like, what's your business? What are you passionate about? And what's your favorite taco topping? Because to me, that's a little bit more, friendly. It's a little bit more of my personality. I love tacos and I talk about that a lot in my business. And so this is a great way to get people to interact with your emails, because the more that they interact with your emails, the better your open rates are going to be, because your email service provider is going to see you as not a spam account and someone that people genuinely like to hear from. But it's also going to help you get to know your subscribers. And with this, when they reply back to you and they tell you things about their business, you can actually use this to tag them. And without trying to get too technical, when you tag people, it allows you to later on send more targeted emails to your list. So if you wanted to tag people based on the type of business that they own, or the types of products that they sell, or what they're most interested in, like if you were a health and fitness, in a health and fitness business, you maybe would want to tag people based on nutrition or exercise, those types of things, just to help you if you have different offers and different programs, that you can send emails straight to the people that want to hear about it instead of sending everything to everybody. It just helps to improve and increase how much income and revenue you can make from your list if you're targeted like that. But if you have questions about that, just let me know. You can send me an email. That's later on in here. You can find my email address. But that's basically what this third email is about. It's just about you and how you help and what they can expect from you. So email 4 is another email. This email is really about value, adding some value. And so, like I said, my video training that I sent, that was my freebie. It was about selling your course with confidence. So you'll notice that this one talks a lot about, a purpose for selling your course and things like that. And what I'm basically doing here is reminding people that, hey, I get where you're coming from. I understand that, you worry a bit about selling your course, or it's something that's a little bit overwhelming to you and all that. And these are just some things that you can do to overcome that. And I like to include fun stories in my emails, just some different things that kind of help them to relate to that. And again, I mentioned the training, and then you can also include a link again back to your freebie. That way, if they didn't open it before, they're going to open it now. And then I briefly mention the next step in my funnel, which is another way that they can work with me. Now, if you don't feel comfortable with mentioning paid offers in your welcome sequence, you don't have to. That's perfectly fine not to do that. One of the reasons that I do is just to get a feel for who might be interested in it. So that way later on, when I want to send out a sales sequence, I can do that. It helps people, if they are someone that's ready to take action, they've gone through your freebie, they've loved it, that they've really found help there, and they want to continue that relationship. It's important to have a little bit of that in your welcome sequence. So that way they're not having to wait weeks and weeks and weeks to figure out how to do that. They get it here at the beginning. But I'm not going to be super pushy about this. It's basically just mentioning how I help. This is a service that I offer. If you feel like it's something you need, great. Here's a link to go here to check it out. If not, it doesn't matter. I don't believe that in order to sell, you have to be super pushy. I think it's just about showing your audience that you can help them and serve them in the way that they need you to. And that's sort of the approach that I take to sales. So again, like I mentioned, in this, my free offer, at the end of that, I did mention the strategy sessions that I help people with, where I help them to plan out launches and things. So, it's tying it into my freebie, to that offer that I made. So when you go to mention your next offer, the next step in your funnel, make sure that it aligns with whatever you had asked them to do in your freebie. So if you had asked them to join your Facebook group, in email number 4, you would want to also again remind them that, hey, you can join this Facebook group, this community where we talk about this and this and this. And, we're having conversations like this over here. And you could even include like a screenshot of one of your most popular posts that they would get the most out of, that type of thing. If you have like a low ticket, maybe a digital product or a low offer, maybe a small course, this would be another place where you could mention this briefly. And just make sure when you do mention anything like a paid offer, make sure that you talk a little bit about what they're going to get from it, the transformation they can expect, and things like that. And then again, at the bottom here in my PS section, I also mentioned how to go back and watch the freebie, or how to get access to that freebie. Because again, it's important that they get through that. If your freebie's full of value, you're going to want them to make sure that they open that and work through that. So email number 5, this is just a value email. In this one, I don't mention anything about offers or any of that. It's basically just a fun story about something. So in this particular email, I talk about a wait list, using a wait list for your course to kind of gauge how people are interested in learning more about it. Once it opens up, then you can, send emails straight to those people that have joined your wait list and all of that. So it's just a value email. You want to make sure that it falls in line with what the topic of your freebie was. So depending on what that is, you'll create this email number 5 about that. So then I also mention a blog post that I had written, and I link to the blog post, and I tell them a little bit about what it includes, some of the topics that I talk about in that post. So you see, this is just all value. I'm just giving them something without expecting anything in return. And a lot of people read this if they're interested in this topic. It goes along with what I had talked about in my training video, then they're going to click over and read it. And then once you get them on your website, then you have more opportunity to for them to experience more about you and your business, because you're going to have your other tabs at the top of your menu where they can maybe learn about you, learn about your services. If you have a shop or anything like that, they can go there from your website, from the blog post. You don't have to link to a blog post in this. If you have like another download or a video or anything like that, anything of value where you're not asking for them to purchase something or anything like that would be great to include in email number 5. And then at the end of this email, I do ask them, I kind of go along with what I had talked about at the beginning. So I ask them to finish this sentence, to hit reply and to finish this sentence. So that way they're interacting with me, they're interacting with my emails and all of that. And it's just a great way to get them to connect with me and for me to also figure out a little bit more about the people on my list. So I hope that this helps, this breakdown of all the emails. As you continue through the Kickstarter, you'll see a sending guide that will help you, or a sending schedule to help you as you schedule these emails out. Like I said before, take this structure and use it in your own emails, change the messaging and the wording to fit your brain. And just do what feels best to you. If you need any help as you're going through the Freebie Funnel Kickstarter or as you're working on your welcome sequence, feel free to reach out to me. You'll find my email address here. You can also find me on Instagram at st_copywriting and send me a message, and I'll be glad to help you with any trouble, any struggles, or anything that you're needing help with when it comes to creating a welcome sequence that helps to build a connection between you and your subscribers and really gets them interested in what you have to offer, what your services or courses or products are, and just to really help you to start that foundation with your email list to really help it grow and to grow your business along with it. So thanks, and I hope that this really helps.